Hello and welcome back to the Horror Hour, the show where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, George, and today I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Liam.
Hello.
Oh, that was quite nice because normally it's a high, so it's nice to have a change of pace there. And today, as you probably would have guessed by, I don't know why we always say this because like people do read the titles, but if they don't, I suppose, then we're here to tell you what exactly this video is about. And we are going to be reviewing slash discussing
Discussing.
the brand
Fun.
new horror thriller. It's a lot of things, but it's definitely
Everything all rolled into one.
It is definitely hardcore on the horror elements though. Master. So this film is going to be has dropped today on Prime Video. It stars the iconic Regina Hall and is directed by Mariama Diallo. And yeah, we're just going to talk about, there are going to be spoilers regarding this because it is out now. If you don't want spoilers, go and check out our friend Yutaka's review. We'll put that there. He saw it at Sundance and that was a non-spoiler review. Then once you've watched that and watched the film, come back here. So that's just spoiler warning. But we're just going to do a little brief overview. Won't be too long, talking about what we thought about it, any particular points we liked, didn't like, and things like that. So, Liam, I'm going to go with you first then. What were your overall thoughts of the movie?
Overall, bloody loved it. I thought it was great. Like, it was well acted. It was well planned out. There was never any lulls in the story for me. With things like this, where it's like the thrillery, horror-y is something there, isn't something there kind of movies. I always find that the middle gets a bit but it changed and kept the pace going enough all the way through, and it sprinkled out all of the elements of like, is something happening, isn't something happening. So I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't even pick up my phone once, which for me, when I'm watching something at home, is a very rare thing. So
no, I was the same. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect, and Yutaka had been talking about it for a while because they'd obviously seen it early, and he was like, "Oh, guys, you really need to check this out. You need to check this out." And I'd watched his review of it, but then I was like, "Oh, I still don't know. Like, what is the fact? Like, what exactly is it?" Because he just said, it was like really, there was a very prominent theme there that was like, damn. And so I definitely saw that throughout, and I thought it was great to see. I haven't actually seen Regina Hall in anything but comedy. This was my first time seeing her in
same.
in more of a dramatic role, but I thought like it was crazy because I was worried, I'm just going to see Brenda from Scary Movie because she's so iconic in that role, but it wasn't like that at all. Like by the end of it, I was like, I was like, oh my god, yeah, she was like, it didn't even pass my mind. That was so kudos to Regina Hall, who absolutely killed this role. I just think she did a fantastic job, and she really kept the story moving forward. And I wanted to learn more about her. I wanted to stay with that character, and I just think she did a great job. The story as well, I really, really liked. I loved how like an element of supernatural horror was linked into a reality of horror, as it were, in regards to racism and everything like that. It was great to have those two things bouncing off each other. And of course, the most horrific one of those all was the reality of racism, because it's something that is going on. There is no, you can deny or deny if there are scary ghost women hanging around the corners, but we know for a fact that this is real and this is going on. And I think it was such a great way to portray this story, for me anyway. What did you think?
I would fully agree. The fact that the story is obviously played out like there is a supernatural element, and there's like a dead witch coming to get people, and then there isn't a dead witch, there isn't anything supernatural. It's just racism, and racism led this poor girl down this path to the point where she thought the only option was to take her own life. And it's just the way that it's played out throughout the story is so intelligent and so smart that you can't figure out whether it is going to be something supernatural
Mhm.
or whether it is just people are assholes.
Yeah.
And the fact that it continuously makes you guess just adds to why it is such a perfect film for me. Like, it was just amazing. And it does fully speak to what you were saying with racism is bit white savior moment of us two sitting here get
Mhm.
but yeah, racism does exist, and everyone needs to say something and needs to say it out loud. Otherwise, it won't go.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
I
films like this are the perfect example of why, and it's why it should be shown everywhere.
agreed. And I think as well, what I liked about it was then so the real interesting, I would say, twist of the tale is regarding the friend who we find out
Yeah.
that isn't has been portraying a black woman for many years, and we find out that she is in fact not black at all. And I think that's a really interesting story and an interesting take on, and it's that idea of, oh well, it's
It's how I feel.
yeah, it's how I feel. And
Okay.
it's like, well, how do you, when everyone else is like, this is wrong, there was that lady, I don't remember if any knows if it was in the US, but in the UK, do you remember there was that lady who was injecting herself with, like, to be tanned? She really truly believed that she was
yeah, the German woman
German.
who was
Yes.
always on who's always on this morning.
Yeah.
She wanted to be a Barbie, but now she's decided that actually she's a black woman.
Yeah. And I think, it's,
but there's also that woman in the US, Rachel.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of, it's not like this is completely, when you first see it, you're like shocked, like, oh my God. But then when you think about it, you think, actually, well, again, this type of stuff does actually happen, and there's evidence of it. And I think it's a case of, it's the fact that I feel like those type of people don't think what they are doing is racist.
Yeah.
And it's like they truly, yeah, it's crazy. And they think that, like, I'm helping this court, and it's insane. But that to me was like when I was like shell shocked at the end, when I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I think that for me was one of my favorite parts of the story. And the script itself was that turning point. And even after she was, they brought it up in front of her, she was still like, she was like, who are you to tell me who I am and things like that. And you're like, oh my God, this is insane.
Mental.
And there's a bunch of white people going, oh, come here to this girl, it's okay. And you're like, what? Like, this is madness, absolute madness, but fantastic for the story. And
oh yeah, like fantastic. And it gives Regina Hall such a fucking great moment.
Yes.
Like, oh, that whole scene is just so well acted. And it was like borderline having a breakdown, just screaming at people, and it's brilliant to watch.
Yeah.
Loved it. Just loved it.
I thought it was brilliant. And I loved as well the ending, because I just think it was like, it could have gone so many ways with the ending. You could have done something really like horror and like crazy and stuff, but it was like just one woman making a decision who was like, nope, bye, I'm out of here. Like, and I just thought it was great. And I think that it really rounds off the movie well to have that, rather than like, oh, let's get them at the end with something crazy, or there could have been a lot of stuff that they could have done, but I think the ending for me was great. What did you think about it?
No, I love the ending as well. Like, as I've already said on the channel, like, I'm not a huge fan of witchy,
like paranormal,
like paranormal yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I like things to be grounded. Um, so when it first started, I was a bit like, oh fuck, crap.
Mhm.
Like, even though like the main storyline is amazing, I was thinking I was going to be put off by the B storyline of this possible paranormal ghost witch crap.
Mhm.
Um, but then having it end with that, I was just like, oh, this is brilliant.
Mhm.
Um, couldn't even pick a flaw in it, if I'm honest. I
Yeah,
just really enjoyed it.
I think it's there's some great scenes throughout it, and I do think that having that element of the supernatural allows them to do certain scenes within the movie that kind of work
Yes.
well. So, for example, when Jasmine is like dreaming and she's like dreaming that there's these people are coming to her room and they're like, and here is, and you're like, so stuff like that I think worked really well to have that, because you're able to
Yeah.
have elements of like craziness mixed in with other elements of craziness, but those that were grounded within like a realm of reality.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah, it was a really good watch, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone to watch it if you haven't already, and you just come in to get a little idea of this of spoilers, because I know some people just enjoy hearing films before they see them. But I would, even if you've
Yeah.
seen it, I would definitely recommend. If anyone said to me, "Oh, what should I watch?" I would definitely say this is one to watch, and I'm excited to see um what this does for Regina Hall. I find that a lot of like comedians, not all of them, but a lot of them are so talented. They can play both very, very well.
Yeah. Look
Um,
at Robin Williams. He was excellent
yeah,
as
Robin Williams,
in comedic and dramatic.
and I think as well. I mean, it's probably nobody, everyone over the world might not know, but Catherine Tate is another fantastic actress, and she does a lot of comedy, but
Yes.
she's like theatre, drama, and she's fantastic. So there's a lot of that, and I would love to see. We're not for a tangent there, but yes, what I was trying to say is I'd love to see more of Regina Hall in these types of roles and see what this does. And I really do think that she deserves some sort of like award for this, because she did such a great job in it.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of it was like, I felt she did, there are obviously other characters in this, but I feel like she was the one that pulled me in further and further into the story. And I think her and both
Yeah.
director, because she was the director and writer, Mariama, and I can't wait to see what she does as well in the future, because I think this is such a great piece, and I think it's going to have a lot of people talking for sure. And
Yeah. I think it's a shame this movie's coming out so early in the year. Because if it could stay in the consciousness, I do think it could be a horror film that had potential for award season.
Mhm.
But I think because of the time that's coming out, I don't think it will, which is
Yeah.
a shame, because it's a horror film, but it's written, acted, and directed like an awards film, and it's
Yeah.
great.
Agreed. It's like it's that, it is truly at heart like a thriller, but the reality is the horror, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So it's definitely one to watch. So what would you then, sort of wrapping it up, what would you give the film? What would you rate the film out of 10?
Well, I had no issues, so 10.
10. Yeah, I agree. I would probably say 9. I think there was just like some elements of I think there could have been some cooler suspense moments brought into some of the more dramatic scenes of the like paranormal scenes. I think there could have been a little bit more there to kind of pull that in. But I mean, that's just like one tiny little thing that I would say, but that's
Yeah.
because I like horror. But it is a fantastic film, and I would definitely watch it again 100%, and I will watch it one today when it drops. So I think, and if you haven't already, go and check it out. And once you have, let us know in the comments below. What do you think about the film? What did you love about it? Was there anything you didn't particularly enjoy about it? What do you think about Regina Hall? What would you like to see in the future? And yeah, let us all know, and what you would rate it in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. We've got videos coming all the time, so just make sure that you're always aware of those. And you can also get our Instagram and Twitter in the description box below. It's at the Horror Hour TV. You can get our merch as well as links down there. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.